The dust never really settles in cold water flats. It just moves around like it's looking for somewhere better to be. I know the feeling. My name is Cole Riordan. I've been riding alone for 3 years, 2 months, and somewhere around 11 days. Not that I was counting. After you lose everything worth counting, the days just blur together like a long stretch of empty highway with no town on the horizon. I was heading south, no reason south in particular. North had nothing for me. East had ghost, west I'd already crossed twice. South just seemed like a direction I hadn't worn out yet. It was the kind of October afternoon where the sky can't decide if it wants to be beautiful or threatening. The clouds were stacked tall and purple to the west, and the light cutting through them hit the Cimarron Valley like God was trying to show off. My horse, Dagger, didn't care much for the poetry of it. He just wanted water and rest. We both did. That's when I saw the truck. Pulled off the side of Route 9, one tire flat, hazard lights blinking slow and tired like a man who's been asking for help for so long. He stopped believing anyone will come. I might have kept riding. Dagger. And I had a rule about other people's trouble. But something made me pull up. Call it instinct, call it loneliness dressed up as conscience. I came around the front of the truck and stopped. She was crouched down beside the flat tire, a lug wrench in her hand, her dark hair falling loose around her face. She had a bruise along her left cheekbone, fresh, the kind that's still deciding how bad it wants to be. Her jaw was set like iron. She wasn't crying. I got the impression she decided some time ago to stop wasting water on tears. She looked up at me. Her eyes were brown and careful and exhausted. The eyes of someone who learned the hard way that strangers don't always mean safety. "I don't need help," she said. First words she ever said to me. I looked at the lug wrench, looked at the bolt she'd been fighting, looked back at her. "That bolt's rusted through," I said. "You need a breaker bar and about 40 pounds more than you've got to break it loose." She stared at me for a long moment. Not the stare of someone who doesn't understand. The stare of someone who understands perfectly and hates that you're right. "Fine," she said. "You got a breaker bar." I did. Her name was Mara. She told me that much and nothing else for the first 20 minutes while I worked the bolts loose, and she stood a few feet away, arms crossed, watching me. The way you watch someone who might be a threat and might be a lifeline, and you haven't decided which yet. The spare was in rough shape, but it would hold long enough to reach Denton, the next town. Maybe 30 miles down the road. I told her that. She nodded, said she knew a mechanic there. "You from Denton?" I asked. A pause, the kind that means no, and also means don't ask more. "I'm passing through," she said. "Same as me," I thought, but I didn't say it. I finished up, put the rusted tire in her truck bed, handed back her lug wrench. She held it a moment, then looked at me with something complicated moving behind those careful eyes. "Thank you," she said, like the words cost her something. "Road's rough after the bend," I said. "Take it slow." She nodded, got in the truck. I watched her pull back onto Route 9. The hazard lights finally going dark, tail lights getting smaller against that bruised purple sky. I sat on Dagger for a moment, watching her go. I told myself that was the end of it. I was wrong.
I made it to Denton, just as the last light was leaving the sky. The town wasn't much. A gas station, a diner, a motel with a sign that had lost half its letters to time and indifference. The kind of place you stop, not the kind you stay. I stabled Dagger at a small lot behind the gas station. Old Hector, who ran the place, didn't blink at a horse, just named a fair price and pointed me toward the water trough. Good man, I liked him immediately. The diner was called Ruby's, though I doubted Ruby had anything to do with it anymore. Inside, it smelled like coffee and fried onions and the particular sadness of fluorescent lights over linoleum floors. I took a stool at the counter and ordered whatever was hot. That's when I saw her again. Mara was in the corner booth, both hands wrapped around a mug of coffee, staring at nothing. The bruise on her cheek had deepened to a dark plum in the hour since I'd seen her. She hadn't noticed me come in, or if she had, she was choosing not to look. I almost didn't say anything. I almost took my plate to the far end of the counter and let her be. But the way she was sitting, perfectly still, like someone trying very hard to hold themselves together through sheer willpower. Something about it hit me somewhere deep and old. I knew that posture. I'd worn it myself, in a diner not so different from this one. 3 years ago, when the world had taken everything from me in the space of a single week. I picked up my plate and my coffee and walked over. "Mind if I sit?" I asked. She looked up, that complicated look again. Then, slowly, she moved her jacket off the seat across from her. We ate in silence for a while. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was the silence of two people who understand that sometimes words just fill space without meaning anything. Finally, she said, "You're not from around here?" "Not from anywhere, really," I said. She looked at me. "That's either very free or very sad." "Depends on the day," I said. Something shifted in her face. A small thing, like a door opening just a crack to see if the weather outside was safe. "I used to be from somewhere," she said, quietly, like she was admitting something she hadn't said out loud before. I waited. "Tulsa," she said. "Had a house, a job, She stopped, set down her mug. "It doesn't matter now." But it did matter. I could see it in every line of her. Whatever she'd left behind, or whatever had driven her away, was sitting right there at the table with us, taking up more space than either of us. "Where are you headed?" I asked. She shook her head slightly, the honest answer, the one she couldn't quite say out loud, was nowhere. She had nowhere to go. I understood that better than I wanted to. Outside, the wind had picked up through the diner's smeared windows. I could see dust skipping across the parking lot. And beyond that, the dark plains stretching out in every direction like a reminder of how small we all are. "There's a man," she said. Suddenly, her voice flat, careful, and Tulsa-ese. Another stop. She pressed her lips together. "He's not the kind of man who lets things go." I looked at the bruise on her cheek. I didn't ask. She didn't offer. "Is he following you?" I asked. A long pause. "He will be," she said, "when he figures out I'm gone." The diner felt smaller after that. The bell above the door made me tense every time it rang. I noticed she flinched at it too, just slightly. Just enough for someone paying attention to catch. I paid for both our meals. She started to protest and I just shook my head. and something in my expression must have told her. I wasn't looking for gratitude, just doing the simple human thing. Out in the parking lot, under a sky slammed full of stars, we stood beside her truck, the spare tire set low and tired. She needed a real tire before she went anywhere. Shop opens at 7 in the morning, I said. I'll walk you over. She studied me for a long time. Why? She asked, not suspicious. Exactly, more like she'd forgotten that people could just be decent without wanting something in return. I thought about it honestly. Because you're alone, I said. And the road's no place to be alone when someone's coming after you. Her eyes held mine for a moment. Something passed through them. Not trust, not yet, but the first small seed of it. I'll be at the shop at 7, she said quietly. And she turned and walked to the motel. I stood there in the dark for a while, listening to the wind move through the scrub grass at the edge of the lot, feeling the strange and terrifying sensation of caring about what happened to someone again. I hadn't felt that in 3 years, 2 months, and 11 days.
I was up before the sun. Old habit. The kind of habit that starts as a survival instinct and eventually just becomes who you are. I checked on Dagger, fed him, stood in the cool gray morning light watching the plains wake up. The way the darkness peels back slow and reluctant, like it knows the day is gonna ask a lot of everyone. She was already at the mechanic's shop when I got there, standing outside the locked door, hands in the pockets of her jacket, watching me walk up the road with something that might have been relief, though I had the feeling she'd have died before admitting it. Morning, I said. Morning, she said. The mechanic was a broad, unhurried man named Dale who had the particular ease of someone who has fixed enough broken things to know that almost everything can be fixed if you're patient. He got her a tire at a fair price, didn't ask questions. I liked him too. Good people tend to cluster in forgotten towns. While Dale worked Mara, and I sat on the tailgate of her truck with 2 cups of gas station coffee that were terrible and perfect. You ever get tired of it? She asked after a while. Moving all the time. Every day, I said. But I got tired of staying still first. She turned that over. What happened, if you don't mind me asking? I didn't mind somehow. In the strange, honest light of early morning, I didn't mind at all. Had a ranch. I said, small one, West Texas, had a woman I was gonna marry. Her name was June. I paused. She got sick. The kind of sick that doesn't negotiate. She was gone in 4 months. I took a slow breath. The ranch went 6 months after that. I just couldn't hold it together without her. Couldn't make myself care enough. Mara was quiet for a moment. I'm sorry, she said, simple, real, no performance in it. It was a long time ago, I said. Some days it feels like it. Other days it feels like last week. She nodded slowly, like she understood the particular arithmetic how grief refuses to follow a calendar. Dale finished up the truck, road level again. Mara paid him, and I saw the way she counted out the bills carefully. Not broke, but close enough to careful that every dollar meant something. We walked back to the diner for breakfast without discussing it. It was just where we went together.
like it was already a habit and we both decided to let it be. Over eggs and toast, she told me more, not everything. You could feel the things she was still holding back, like rocks in a river that redirect the current. But she told me enough. His name was Devon. They'd been together 2 years. It had been good at first. She said that the way people say it when they're still trying to be fair to the version of someone they'd loved before that person showed them who they really were. Then it had gotten complicated. Then it had gotten dangerous. She'd stayed too long, she said, not because she was weak, but because leaving felt like admitting she'd been wrong. And she'd spent her whole life trying not to be wrong. 6 weeks ago, she said, he put me in the hospital. She said it flat, like it was just a fact now. But her hand around her coffee mug had gone white at the knuckles. I told him I fell, she said. I don't know why. Yes, I do. I was scared he'd find out I'd said anything. She paused. When I got home from the hospital, I waited until he left for work. I packed one bag, I left. Good, I said quietly but clearly. She looked at me. Just like that, good. Just like that, I said, you're here. That means you made the right call. Something moved through her face. The complicated business of believing something about yourself that someone else is offering you when you spent so long hearing the opposite. He has friends, she said. He'll know which roads to watch. That's why I came this way. It's not the obvious route south. Smart, I said. Or running scared, she said. Both can be true. I said neither one makes you less right. She was quiet for a moment, then something close to a smile, small, careful, like she wasn't sure if she was allowed to use it yet. It was the first time I'd seen her even approach a smile. It hit me harder than I expected. We sat there in the morning quiet of Ruby's diner, and outside the window Denton was waking up slow and unhurried. And for a moment, just a moment, the road didn't feel so endless. Then her phone buzzed on the table. She looked at it. Every trace of that smile vanished. She turned the screen toward me without a word. One message. Unknown number, 3 words. I know where.
Three words, I know where. I've been in enough dangerous situations in my life to know that fear has a sound. Not a scream. Screaming comes later. The real sound of fear is silence. The sudden absence of everything normal. The moment when the world gets very, very quiet, like it's holding its breath. The diner went quiet like that. How? She whispered. Does it matter? I said. She shook her head. Her eyes were scanning the window, the parking lot, the road. I thought fast. Does he know this town specifically? The message said he knows where, not where exactly. Maybe he tracked my phone. Her hand was shaking slightly. She set it flat on the table to stop it. Turn it off, I said. Right now. Take the SIM out if you can. She did it quickly, practiced hands, the hands of someone who had thought about this moment before and rehearsed it in the dark. My truck, she said. He knows my truck. How far can you get on what's in the tank? Maybe 200 miles. But if he's watching the roads, he can't watch all of them, I said. Not alone. He won't be alone. I looked at her. She held my gaze. How many? I said. 2. maybe 3. He runs with the same 2 guys, always Ricky and a man everyone calls Shade there. She stopped. They do whatever Devon tells them to. I turned that over 3 men, probably armed, motivated by the particular ugliness of a controlling man who can't accept that someone chose to leave him. I'd met men like Devon before. The worst thing about them isn't the violence. It's the absolute conviction that they're right. That possession is the same thing as love. Okay, I said, here's what we do. She looked at me, her eyes searching. Still that guard, still that wariness. But underneath it, something that was starting, just barely, to lean. We leave separate. You take the truck west on Route 9, visible, deliberate, like you're not worried. You go 15 miles and pull into the rest stop at the old Corrigan Ranch. You wait there. And you? I'll come the back way, Old Creek Road, south of town. Takes longer, but it's not on any map worth trusting. If he has someone watching Route 9, they'll follow you and lose you at the ranch if they follow you to the ranch. I paused. I'll be there before they are. She stared at me. You've done this before, she said, not a question. Something like it, I said. She was quiet for a moment, looking at me the way you look at something you're trying to understand. Not just what it is, but what it means. Cole, she said, my name in her mouth for the first time. Something about it steadied the air. Why are you doing this? I thought about June, about the ranch, about 3 years of riding in a direction that didn't matter, feeling the world slide past like something that didn't quite include me. Because someone should have done it for someone I loved, I said. And nobody did. She held that. I watched it land in her, slow, like a stone in deep water, sending ripples out in all directions. She stood up, picked up her keys. Her face was different now. Still afraid, yes. But there was something else underneath the fear, something that had remembered it was allowed to be there. 15 miles, she said. Corrigan Ranch. I'll be there, I said. She walked out. I watched through the window as she got in her truck, pulled onto Route 9 and headed west, easy, unhurried, like a woman who wasn't running. I left 2 minutes later, went around back of the diner, came out the far side of the lot, and cut south through the scrubland to the creek road. Dagger felt the shift in me. Horses always do. He picked up the pace without being asked, his hooves quiet on the soft earth of the creek bed, moving through the cottonwood shade in the long morning light. I kept my hand near my rifle in its saddle scabbard. Not because I wanted to use it. Because I knew what men like Devon did when they found what they were looking for. And I had promised her she wouldn't be alone when that happened. The creek road took 30 minutes. I came out of the cottonwoods onto a low ridge that looked down over the rest stop. An old gravel pull-off beside a rusted windmill. The ghost of what was once the Corrigan Ranch. Mara's truck was there. So was another vehicle, a black pickup, newer, idling at the edge of the lot. I stopped, scanned. One man leaning against the black truck, arms crossed. Ricky. Maybe her shade from the ridge, I couldn't tell. Mara was still in her truck, not moving. I came down the ridge slow, keeping the cottonwoods between me and the lot, until the last 100 yards. Then I rode out into the open, clear and unhurried, the way you ride when you want someone to see you coming. And think about what that means. The man by the black truck straightened his hand, moved toward his jacket. I stopped Dagger 20 yards out. She's not going back. I said, my voice carried clean in the flat morning air. However you heard that sentence, however it sounds to you, that's the only sentence that matters here today. The man, it was Ricky, I found out later, looked at me. He was sizing me up the way men do, running the numbers. He was younger than me, faster. Probably the question was whether he was ready to find out. This isn't your business, he said. She made it my business, I said, and I tend to take that seriously. A long moment, the windmill creaked. A hawk described a slow circle overhead, like it was waiting to see how things shook out. The driver's side of the black truck opened. Devin stepped out. He was a broad-shouldered man, good-looking in the way that deceives people, with the easy confidence of someone who has never been told no in a way that stuck. He looked at me, then at Mara's truck, then back at me. Mara, he said, calm, the calmness of a man who believes the outcome is already decided. Get out of the truck. Nothing from the truck. Mara, less calm now. I said, she can hear you. She's choosing not to answer. I'd take that as information. Devin looked at me with the flat, measuring gaze of a man cataloging a problem. Who are you supposed to be? Nobody important, I said, just a man on a horse. Then right away, he said, this is between me and my. She's not yours, I said, simple like a door closing. Something changed in Devin's face. The calmness cracked just slightly, and underneath it was the thing that always lives under that kind of calmness. Something hot and ugly and convinced of its own righteousness. He took a step forward. I'm warning you, he started. I slid the rifle out of the scabbard, didn't point it. Just held it across my lap, visible and patient the way you hold a fact. Devin stopped. The silence stretched out long and taut. Ricky was very still. The hawk circled, the windmill creaked. Here's how this ends, I said quietly. You get back in that truck. You drive back to Tulsa. And you spend the rest of your life being grateful that today went the way it did, and not the other way. Another long moment. Devin looked at his friend, looked at the rifle, looked past me toward the ridge, calculating. He was afraid underneath the anger and the certainty and the ugliness. He was afraid men like him always are. It's what makes them dangerous, and it's also what makes them, in the end, deeply ordinary. He got back in the truck. Ricky followed. They pulled out of the rest stop and headed north on Route 9 without another word. I watched them go until I couldn't see them anymore. Then I let out a long, slow breath. The truck door opened. Mara stepped out. She stood on the gravel in the long western light, her arms wrapped around herself, watching the road where Devin's truck had been. She didn't cry. I'd already understood she wouldn't. She walked to me instead, stood beside Dagger, who dipped his head toward her in the uncomplicated affection of horses. Is it over? She asked. For today, I said honest. She nodded. That was enough. We stood there for a while in the morning quiet, the windmill creaking, the hawk finally finding what it was looking for and breaking into a long, clean glide toward the south. Where will you go? I asked. She thought about it. The real question, not the geography of it, but the deeper one. Who are you now? What does after look like? I don't know yet, she said, but somewhere I choose.
She looked up at me then, and for the first time, there was nothing guarded in her face. Just a woman standing in the sunlight, still here, still standing, deciding to take the next step. "Thank you, Cole," she said. "You were already leaving," I said. "I just made sure the road stayed open." She reached up and touched Dagger's nose once, gentle, and she got in her truck. I stayed on the ridge until her taillights disappeared around the bend. Then I turned Dagger south, and we rode. The dust settled slow behind us. The sky was clean and enormous and completely in diff.